Wow.
Johnson, anything we missed?
Yeah, I missed that the front of your desk still says Cath Lab Director Legarius and Shelby.
29-year-old female, just delivered 6 days prior at 39 weeks, C-section. Brought in by EMS, actively seizing. Do you guys remember what the call came in like, or not really?
The call came in, I believe it was pretty vague. But I think we did know that she was seizing, so that it was preeclampsia.
Did you guys go to the ER or the ICU?
We went to the ER.
Okay.
And we got dispatched out really fast, I believe. I think she came through the doors and they were on the phone with us.
Gotcha.
So the history that we got was
I'm gonna look up the
minimal. Just that she was 6 days postpartum. Delivery was fine. I don't think she had preeclampsia during pregnancy. I want to say that from what the husband was able to tell us, her pregnancy was relatively uneventful. Delivered via C-section, was discharged from the hospital, baby was healthy, mom was healthy, and then that day had a seizure.
It just says some gestational diabetes, and that's it, right?
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So no preeclampsia during pregnancy.
All right, so she's seizing. EMS, we don't know what they did. They probably gave Versed only because that's all they have.
I believe Versed. And when we got to the ER, the patient was climbing out of bed. She was on the vent. We could hear the vent as we were coming in. Not adequately sedated at all. She was fighting, not following commands. Unclear, I think, how many seizures she had in the ER. I believe they said 3. Don't remember exactly.
What was she on for you when you got there? Just propofol or more?
She was not on propofol. We initiated the propofol, which I couldn't believe.
So she was on nothing?
She was on, I want to say, a Versed drip.
Okay.
And potentially a fentanyl drip. The bedside nurse was drawing up Versed pushes. I do remember that. And we just grabbed the fentanyl and were working on sedating her. They had given her a mag bolus. And I believe she was started on Keppra as well.
Did they gave her a mag bolus. Did they do the drip or no?
They didn't.
Okay.
We started.
You started the drip?
I'm pretty sure we started the drip.
Okay. No, you did. You put it in
yes,
your
we
chart that
did.
you guys did,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just curious if they did the bolus only or they started the drip. Okay.
Yeah. She was also having some pretty significant vaginal bleeding as well. But that was also, I think, just, it probably looked a lot worse because it was an uncontrolled environment versus how much she was actually bleeding. But we definitely wanted to make sure that there was no risk of like hemorrhaging anywhere. We checked her incision sites. All of those looked okay. No hematomas or anything that we were concerned about. Her blood pressures were under control, especially once we started the propofol. Things got better. Things got so much better that in the ambulance we were a little bit worried we were going the other way. And we were concerned about dropping her pressures too fast. So it was almost like everything that she had been bolused for sedation in the ER was finally catching up to her once we were in the ambulance.
What do you mean it was how low are we talking?
It was very brief, and that was the other issue. We were kind of bouncing down Lakeshore Drive, and cuff pressures are not always super reliable. I think we had a couple of readings where she was systolics in the 90s, but after reassessing and, you know, making sure that we were kind of in a stable place when we were taking the blood pressure, it was normal. We did come down a little bit on the propofol, though, just to make sure that we weren't going too high.
So enough to get her down initially, then you just kind of backed off.
Yeah.
And then
And we also knew that she was going to the neuro ICU, that they probably were going to frown upon how much sedation we were on. But there was also concern for the seizures. So we were definitely justified in that.
So you guys left there with Prop, Fent, and Versed running?
Yes.
Okay.
You kept the Versed?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just turned it down or kept it the same?
We had her on 15 milligrams an hour. I don't, to be honest with you, remember what the sending facility had. Oh, wait. They had her on 15. So it looks like we just kept her at that.
And then you give her a pretty hefty load. It sounds like a propofol, and then just kind of turned it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the vent settings didn't change much, right?
No, on the vent, and back to your question, I think they were concerned with airway protection given her active seizures. I don't remember them saying that there were any issues with like hypoxia. I believe it was all just because she was not following commands and not able to.
I was just curious, did they tell you, did the seizure stop? Or was it one where EMS brought her in and they gave her a ton of Versed and she was out and they were worried about it? Or were the seizures not stopping? I guess that's what I should have asked.
I probably should have dug a little bit more into that, but we were so focused on getting her sedated
Yeah.
that, and I didn't get a
So
full
I was just
report.
curious.
Yeah, so I'm not sure which came first, the Versed or the intubation. And yeah, they gave her labetalol. I think that was, labetalol for her blood pressure, which helped.
So
Plus the
initially her blood
sedation.
pressure was super high.
Yeah, in the ER, I think she was running 160s, 170s systolic, and some of them also, she was literally climbing out of bed despite being in restraints. So,
May not be
Was she
super
seizing, or
high.
was she just pissed off she was on the vent?
I think she was
Wait,
just pissed
okay.
off. She did not look like she was actively seizing. It was just uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
In all honesty, looking back on it and now having had quite a few seizures and intubation, she probably could have extubated herself and been fine.
Yeah.
From an airway standpoint. And once her blood pressures were under control, I'm assuming that her seizures would have been non-existent also.
But for these folks, they really just want to stop the seizure. So you guys probably did the right thing.
Oh,
The
I think
propofol.
so. Yeah, I think they were totally justified in what they did. And I know that she was, just having been able to follow up, she was pretty quickly extubated once she was already in the neuro ICU.
So it sounds super scary when you're doing it, but it actually turned out to be fine after you started rolling and got her sedated.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal.
So you left on Fent, Pro, Versed, and Mag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely kept the mag drip running.
Postpartum, this was actually one of the only critically ill postpartum eclampsia patients we had. We do a fair amount of antepartum, but in terms of post, this was the first. So it's really interesting. It was an interesting case.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really the only treatment for it, right?
Stop the seizure, yeah.
Stop the seizure, control the electrolytes.
Control blood pressure,
Yeah. So, did they give Keppra or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they gave Keppra. Anything else?
They gave Ativan.
Ativan. Okay.
A lot of Ativan. 8 milligrams of Ativan.
Dang. 8 milligrams of Ativan, 15 an
Yeah.
hour. Versed. Surprised she woke
Plus
up.
Versed pushes and fentanyl pushes. So
No wonder she didn't remember anything.
right. When I saw her, yeah, she did not remember a thing.
Love you, Jer Bear. All right.